Wow.
But I was just busy, focusing on, my relationship, getting my stuff started, learning what I need, all these technologies, so that I can release my YouTube series,
Yeah.
and also to start making my own games to
Wow.
release to the public. When I have enough skill, I'm gonna start, releasing my creative ideas to the
Are
public.
those RPG role playing games or what is it?
They
Like,
are RPGs. Some of them are platformers. I I'm starting with the mobile games because those are the easiest to make.
and is that do you make money from that?
I'm gonna see if I can.
Is that what the end deal is, or is this it's just more of a fun thing?
It started off as a fun thing, but I'm just saying, hey,
No, you're gonna get to make money, man.
if I get good enough at it, we'll see what happens.
Right. Wow, that's
Just
cool.
release it to the polish it as much as I can, release it to the public. Hey, if it does good, it does good. If it does bad, it does bad. But at least, just like as it was with Matilda, at least I now know what would have happened.
I wonder if you could somehow, man, somehow tie all this 90-day stuff into a game and get your stuff out there. But maybe just do your game and it'll tie in on its own.
Well, there's I am. People have told me that two of the characters I've made, they do want to see a story of black love. Now, originally, I didn't want to really do that. I wanted to make the man be of no race and the woman to be white. You know why? I deal with enough racial stuff in my line of work, and also just living as a black man in
Right.
Alabama.
And then to bleed over into work into your fun.
I don't want it to bleed over into my funds,
Right.
because, quite frankly, when I make those games, when I write my novels, I'm doing that to escape.
Well, why don't you keep it real? Keep it like that then.
Well,
Because that is kind of interesting to have a character of no race.
or it's hard to tell what race that he actually is. Like, the idea is that he's brown skin and he has traits of all ethnicities.
But from another place or what, you know what I
So
mean?
he's
Kind of
from
like
Africa.
Superman, you know what I mean? Like Superman kind of deal, or he came in and da da da.
He's not a Kryptonian, but he is a half elf.
But you could bring it from an aspect of not having like because when you said no race, I thought of like just a ghostly figure kind of thing. But
There's a lot of magic involved. There's a lot of high fantasy and sci-fi there, but ultimately, the reason
maybe
why the main characters are of no have traits of all ethnicities is because I just want to live in a world where we're not judged by the
you don't
color of
want
our
the
skin.
drama. You don't want that drama in your game.
Yeah, and also too, I know a lot of races like to do like to rage bait, right?
Right.
Well, by having that character be, it's hard to judge what race they are. Like, what race are they? I'm like,
You
why do
can't.
you need to know?
Yeah, because that's the
Why
first
does that
thing.
matter?
That's the first thing people go for. You black, blah blah blah. You Puerto Rican, blah blah blah. You Chinese, blah blah blah. And that's the first thing they attack: your
You see
weight
one
and your
of
race. Right?
It's like you
If you're
see one of
fat,
them and it says, what race are you? It's like,
yeah, it's like up next thing. You got to figure something else out. You
next
long
thing,
haired hippie or something, whatever.
or it's like, what I see people saying about the main male character. He does not look how he sounds. He has a really pretty he has really pretty features, but his voice is deeper than
Oh,
Mufasa's.
jeez. So, but now you're saying so it's already out there.
It
If
is
some
already
things
out
are
there.
out,
Some
because you
things
said people
are
are
out there,
commenting on things, and
and they did clamor for the the other couple that I've shown, that I've designed,
yeah,
and they say they want to see an instance of black love. The black man that they want me to follow, he veers very close to my true inner feelings, and
right.
the anger and the pain that I've gone through. And I'm just thinking, well, he was designed really to essentially be me if I let my anger get to me until he found the
But is
love
that
of
going to
his
be
life.
too revealing?
Say again?
Be a little revealing for you though.
I don't think
If
it will
someone
be
says, "Hey,
really.
that's Niles,"
I don't think that would be too revealing for me. You know
no.
why? Because it is what it is. I was
Okay,
much
that's being
angrier
honest. Yeah.
as a younger man. I felt as if things were done. I was done dirty by life in general. I was mad at the world, and you know what? My art reflected that, and it was what it was. I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't like that.
Now, I didn't know that you were when you were younger, high school days, high school
You
years. I
know,
mean,
I would say my middle school year when I first got diagnosed. My middle school years, my through my high school years, into my first time in college. You know, it was only really around the time I started meeting
You
Matilda.
graduated college?
Yes, I have.
Damn. Good shit. I didn't graduate high school, so I didn't graduate high school, but I got my GED.
We all
But
we
you
all
went to,
have we all have different paths here, and you know,
that's awesome
it
though,
was
man. You went all the way.
it was not easy. You know that it really wasn't. But you
I
know,
wonder if you had an advantage
the one
because you were concentrating. You know what I'm saying? You were concentrating. Sometimes that people are all off into parties and doing some dumb shit, and I don't think you were.
well, I think also too, I wasn't what we consider socially adept either.
But that's okay though, because maybe that's not maybe social adept means you're getting drunk and getting high with the young kids and the you know what I'm saying, you're being a dumbass with everybody else.
I should put
That's
air
all that
quotes
pretty
around
much
social
means.
adept because I'm just thinking
That's
because
pretty
when I
much
think
you're just
about
not a
that, I'm just
follower.
thinking, that doesn't seem very adept to me. But you know,
I know what you mean though, because sometimes you got to jump in. You got to be a follower. You got to be all that other stuff to be accepted. And it's like you didn't play that,
it wasn't fun when I tried it, and I'm just thinking people have fun doing this.
right?
Now, being drunk was okay. When I was drunk around my other drunk friends,
Then it's okay,
then it's okay. Mostly because I probably didn't even remember it.
right? Right.
But no, I remember pretty much everything that happened while I was drunk. Never mind.
The,
And now I remember why I don't get drunk anymore.
you don't drink,
Well, I do drink, but not to get drunk anymore.
not to get drunk. You just drink, and if it happens, a little buzz, a little something happens, it happens.
And you know, just dealing with that. You know, the character's name is Nakato. Okay, it starts with an N, and that's Swahili for second child, which I'm the second child in my family.
Swahili, is that what they speak in?
They speak Chi, although
uh
they speak Chi over in Ghana. But
huh.
Swahili is something that you hear in West Africa as well, not
Okay.
just East Africa and Central Africa.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it's my names aren't very creative because it just means second child, which is what I am.
But what you got to do? You got to create characters
I
in the
do,
game that all the characters.
yes.
Dude, that's a lot of work. You need some AI to be like click click click.
Oh no, none. The only thing I'm using AI for is to try and clean up any mistakes that I might make. Real, because let's be honest, AI it's not creative at all. It doesn't.
I think it just repeats what the internet already has out there. It
Not
just
only
gathers up everything that it's already like heard.
like if you check my Instagram, like when you see some of the pictures that you see out there,
Uh huh.
you know, I had to draw the silhouette. All AI did was color it in.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I know. All it did was just color it in, and guess what? Sometimes it even got that wrong.
Really, you can't just put. I need a dark guy with a light woman and a galactic looking background, blah, 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 and but it would come all crazy looking, right?
It would come out crazy looking, and that same prompt 3 times will give you 3 different pictures.
3 different pictures.
Sometimes 6 different pictures because
Right.
sometimes it tries to go above and beyond and give you like a choice of what you want.
So when you're doing you got to program the whole thing, the whole.
You do have to program that, and that's I've been really trying to learn Blender. Really been trying to learn full stack developing just to
That's
get
a
all
whole
that to
nother
come out.
job.
Yeah, try to get things to come out kind of like how I want it to come out.
Damn.
But
Man.
yeah, I tried using AI to animate this. We're not there yet.
It ain't happening.
Although I will admit that like for like the voice acting, the voices that you hear,
Right.
this is as deep as my voice goes, and this is as high as my voice goes, and you can tell that I use help to get the voices to happen. But every single voice that you hear, I voiced it. I still have to sit in front of the mic and do my voice,
And then kind of edit it later, or kind of voice it later. Because I know I can when I do my stuff, editing stuff, you can choose voices, high, deep, low, middle, whatever. You know.
And
It's
here's the
kinda like
thing:
that.
you can only with that. There's only so far you can go with that. You still have to have like if I'm voicing a high character, this is how I have to talk.
Right.
Otherwise, because
You gotta have to keep it like that even through, and then edit it later.
you have
so
to
your
keep
whole
it like
damn
that. Mm-hmm.
But
Serena's face when she saw her welcoming gift. I think she smiled almost as wide as when Choto actually proposed to her.
I'm just hoping that our life maxims were properly ingrained into these 2 eggs. I wonder what the hatchlings will be like once they enter this world.
But see, I just don't. I don't know enough about it. That and you say you're creating a game, you're doing these voiceovers, these voice things. How do you create a game? I guess in an app. I just know playing games, RPGs. You get in, you got your guy, you get your gal,
So
whatever, and you go around and bing, 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 and you hit places and
so
opens up things.
when it comes to stuff like that, what you see that is what we call the user interface. That's what we call the front end here. Okay, what you're seeing on the front end, what you're seeing on the UI, that's like it's like the paint job almost. You know what they say? JavaScript is what you use to give your game function, like the muscles.
Right.
What you're seeing is the usually the CSS label layer. I'm trying to say my words here, I'm not so good.
Work, man.
And as for okay, so JavaScript, cascading style spreadsheets, which is CSS. I'm trying to think of the third one here. It's hypertext.
And what does
something.
that give?
HTML. I'm trying to think. Trying to remember
HTML.
what. Yeah, HTML.
I've seen that on computer stuff.
When you hit inspect, what you're seeing there is the HTML layer.
Jesus Christ! Man.
I'm trying to remember exactly what that stands for. Hypertext something.
Ah, okay.
But
I always looked at like Hotmail, looking like Hotmail, HTML. I was looking at it, but I didn't know what the hell it was.
It's considered the language of the internet for very good reason. They consider that it's very easy to learn how to code in those.
So, but a video game entails all those things blended in.
Yes,
Dude, that's rough, man.
It is rough, kind of.
It's a lot of work, man.
You know, maybe it is a lot of work, but I'm used to doing it, so it doesn't seem like a lot to me.
Yeah.
But
Plus you like doing it, so.
Also, too, yes, thank you. I also really like doing it, so.
That matters big time.
You know what they say? If you do something you like, you never work a day in your life.
That's it. And maybe you can do that.
And I do love that. I love being creative. I love to write. I love to to code, especially when something works.
Have you thought about writing a book about Niles, about life, about you?
I do have 4 different novel series like that I already completed. It's just finding the money to publish everything.
Get out of here! What you mean 4 novels?
Well, novel series.
What is that? What is that movie thing you watch with the Dracula stuff with the vampires? Would that be considered like that? Yeah.
Oh, my Twilight stuff?
Twilight. Would that be considered like Twilight?
Don't ever compare my work to Twilight.
I don't know. Is that offensive? Is that garbage? Is Twilight garbage? I don't know.
Every novel.
I never watched it.
Every novelist listening to you just had a heart attack.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
The girls like Twilight, not the guys. No, but he's saying.
I have not met a female who actually unironically likes Twilight. I have not met I've not met a girl my age, any woman that actually unironically likes Twilight. They point to that as the kitschy girls novel that people want to avoid.
Oh, so. Oh, okay. Well.
The meme, better love story than Twilight. There's a reason that's a meme.
But that's something similar to a series. I don't want to say Twilight anymore. But so it's something like that? Is that what no?
It's again, there's a lot of high fantasy and sci-fi elements, but every single novel that I've written, every single series, all 4 of the protagonists of their own series, they are based on some aspect of myself. Nakato is the one that's the one that I was telling you about. Is the one closest to me.
How many pages are these things?
Jesus Christ!
No way, that many, huh?
So.
Like Lord of the Rings, huh?
So both of Knox's novels are 100,000 words each. Both of them.
Damn.
That's the reason why there's only 2.
And you just typed all that.
Until I'm thinking.
Good Lord, yo, that's
once I reach word 100,000, I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and make this a 2-parter. Imara's books are 3. There's 3 of Imara's books. Vitro has 3 novels as well, and I think, Raiko has 4 books.
Jesus. So, but you think, so you wrote the novel. Do you think you could write an autobiography? No.
I mean, My autobiography would just be would just be those four characters' story without the sci-fi elements.
So those stories are kind of a biography on you
Yes, and
in code, a coded biography.
a coded biography, and believe it or not, with with Imara and Serena, they're just me as when someone called me a misogynist and said that I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't think I would be much different. It would just change my body maybe.
Hopefully, right?
Like hopefully.
Hopefully.
But if I was born in Africa, I would just be Niles as an African.
Right.
If I was white, I would be Niles if I was white.
Right, you wouldn't change.
It wouldn't change me. It wouldn't change how I handle things. Now, yes, would my environment change? Absolutely.
Right.
Would the opportunities available to me change? Absolutely. If I was Niles in a wheelchair, I would just be Niles. Now, I probably wouldn't be doing squats anymore.
Right. So, but you got now. I was because now you're saying about the disabled. You had what was that award? Not award, but you had like a not I would say I had told Kim presidency.
APSI.
APSI.
Oh yeah.
Explain that, because you had said that you got elected for that.
I got elected to the national board of APSI, which is Alliance of Persons in Support of Supported Employment.
Right, and that's that. And Kim read up on it a little bit, and it was about being fair for disabled people, getting the same wages, same treatment, same
competitive, integrated employment. The key words there is competitive and integrated.
Right.
Don't make something just for people with disabilities. No, we need to be able to be integrated into society if we want to be. And there's a lot of people who are developmentally disabled who want to be involved. Now,
right.
Again, will they need accommodations? Of course. But we don't think that's something that's too much to ask. Do you understand?
So that's what I think about too. Is a lot of people because a lot of the work that we do with the attorneys and doing that is that when people see you coming, you're like, oh, here comes a problem. Like, oh, here comes, and we don't want to be like that. We're just trying to make it a better world accessible world for people, right? And in the same aspect that with the disability and working, you don't want the employer to think, I don't want to hire this guy because then I got to get a special this and I got to have this special. He's a problem.
And something I noticed with employers
if
like
they can get past that.
Something I noticed with the employers like that, believe it or not, when I see an employer like that, I say, thank you, in fact, for showing me that. Because, now I'm not going to waste my time.
Now you're not going to be there, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to be
faster.
I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to get stuck in and this has to hurt when I have to leave.
Yeah, I just wonder how much of a fight that's going to be. Not that it's too tough for you or too tough for that organization, but that's a tough fight to get it equal.
Let's call this what it is. Probably not in my lifetime. But will there be true equality?
One more stone on the road to it, right? One more block.
For that matter, I don't see it happening in my children's lifetime. Maybe my grandchildren will live in a world where people don't see disability, people don't see race, people don't see color, people don't see ways to make things unequal.
I don't know.
And if we really want to be pessimistic, as long as humans are humans, we're gonna encounter some form of that.
See, I think a lot of it comes from our games, our movies, Hollywood, and all that stuff is what they put out there, music and everything. It has so much control on us, man. That forms us. The racism and all that shit. I think that just comes straight from the movies.
That's why you see me trying to publish the content that I'm publishing. That I'm trying to find the money to get my novels published and find the means to get my games released, because all of especially Zume and Re, half of the couples that I showed,
mm-hmm.
they're nonverbal. I explained it as on my Instagram and TikTok that the reason why they're able to talk in those segments is because they use a special neural headband that allows them to be able to verbalize. But without it, they're nonverbal.
Jesus Christ!
So yes,
got that all figured out.
So the reason why I brought that up is I want to show that yes, they have this disability in normal circumstances, but look
Right.
what happens when you accommodate them. They're able to talk like normal people, and especially their voices are like pretty
And
shocking.
prosper and do things and be a part of something.
Be entertaining as well.
Right. Wow.
They can be the main character just because they may have a disability, and in fact, in their games that's going to focus on them. If the player doesn't do the tutorial stages, they never say a word. But with their body language, with their actions,
right.
they're a fully fleshed out character. We don't always need words to convey what it is that. In fact, I would go so far as to say 90% of our communication isn't verbal; it's nonverbal.
Now that you're saying all this, why don't not a cartoon, but like an animated series, something instead of a game? No,
animated. Why didn't I think of that before now?
Anime.
Well, not necessarily anime, just animated, whatever. Animate your guys and make it a cartoon, make it a thing, so that it could explain it. Because to someone like me, if I really don't know that world of what you're talking about, but if I seen a cartoon, I say, oh, they're from the planet Exotron, and they do this and that, and then.
Well, just follow my Instagram, TikTok, and my YouTubes. You'll see. You'll see exactly what you want to see there.
Well, maybe think about a little animation, something animated. Maybe that might be easier too, a little bit. Or
animation. Okay, so games use animation.
Right, get that into the game.
Yeah, games use animation. Everything is animation. It's all animation now. With games, you're interacting with it more. Right. People have considered, especially modern video games, as just playable movies. Basically. Movies that you can control the outcome.
Cartoon, like a cartoon, you could just jump around and touch things and move around, open doors and do things.
But you'll notice that a lot of games follow a linear story. That's a movie, if you ask me.
Right. Well, I mean, you have to. You kind of have to, right? You got to have a beginning, end, and getting to this, right?
Well, yes, but the games that I'm trying to design, they're from my childhood. Like I played the Mario games, I played the Sonic games, I played the Crash Bandicoot games, played the Mortal Kombat games, Tekken. Let's see, Halo.
And that's all gonna be kind of.
That's gonna be all that I'm taking a little bit of everything there because again, it was my childhood. I want to share that with people and so that people can understand why the creative industry, why the gaming industry is so close to me because when I didn't have anything else,
that's what you had.
That's what I had.
That's what you go to.
Sometimes when I felt like my parents didn't even understand me, which they have admitted that they didn't always understand me.
Right. And then just the disconnect from parents being 70s and now we're 80s, or being 80s and now it's 90s, or 90s and now it's 2000. You know what I'm saying? They're just. The mind isn't there. The same mind isn't there. The technology wasn't there for them.
I would go so far as to say that 2020, what we knew in 2020, the mindset we had in 2020 is not the mindset we have now. So you better believe it was so radically different.
And it changes. It changes fast. And so you can imagine your parents are like, they don't have any idea.
And they've admitted they have now admitted that they didn't know now. They didn't know then what they know now.
Yeah.
I share with you the maxims here, but really what he needs most right now is the golden maxim, which is if you are not God, you are fallible and you are surmountable. It's coming one day where, you're not going to be able to get yourself out of this. You won't be able to get him out of it. His mom won't be able to get him out of it. Yeah. His dad won't be able to get him out of it.
And that's what happened with me. I mean, I was driving. I crashed 2 or 3 cars into poles when I was a young guy, and I didn't learn. And then I got shot. And then I learned. Then I finally learned that I'm not God, and that I can die, and that I can be injured. You know what I'm saying? Until then.
And that was a really bad time to learn that, wasn't it?
It sucked. But I was 26. I was, I could have done better things. I could have done something better. Yeah.
You could have done something better. And, like
it was rough, but
I gave my wife that. I gave my wife those maxims, and you know what I told her? Especially after the last time she had a really bad incident. Now you understand why I say all these useless things. It's so that you don't have to deal with this because this freaking sucks.
Yeah.
This is not fun. Like,
if you can listen and learn, it's nice. It's better than landing on your ass and learning.
And believe it or not, the two characters that I told you about, Zume and Ari, the reason why they're considered sage level beings, because so how it works in this series, you know how people lucid dream, right? Well, in the series that I'm making, people actually can legitimately learn from lucid dreaming if they remember their dreams and they remember,
right. Hey, I'm dreaming. Let me do something.
Yeah, let me do something. It comes from a real life situation where, like, whenever I remember all of my dreams, and I remember
when you're dreaming.
Yeah, I know it, and I also know when I'm dreaming.
And that's part of being lucid, right? Lucid dream is like when you know you're dreaming. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fly out this window and shh, right?
Now, reality ensued when I did that. That was usually where that dream ended. But then, guess what? I woke up as something else.
Okay.
And I realized something. I'm living entire lifetimes in an 8-hour period. Now, if I can just stop, dreaming,
right. I'm with that. I'm with you on that.
It's
a whole other life.
Yeah, 2-3 lifetimes even. The most I've ever lived.
If you could tap in and know that you're dreaming, because when I dream, I do know I'm dreaming, but I rarely dream. I remember. Yeah, that I remember anyway, right? Because they say everybody dreams, but you don't remember. I don't dream, but when I do. It's strong. But
the ones that I do remember, they are always just so close to life, so much so that it really does feel real. And I'm just thinking, that's God telling you, hey, idiot, if you do this, you're going to end up like this.
Right, you're close.
Especially when especially like dreams where I actually get killed and I actually feel myself, dying, unable to move. I can usually just go back over it, like, okay, what happened here?
Do you know it's a dream? You say, oh, it's a dream, chill, jump up. Or no?
You can know it's a dream, but when you're feeling it, that's why I'm thinking feeling must be all in the mind, because I felt
too.
Because I felt my arm getting cut off before.
Yeah.
And it was pretty accurate to what it was like to have a knife taken to this part of your arm, to this part of your arm.
I'll back you up on that one, because being paralyzed, I don't feel certain parts of my body.
Supposedly.
Well, no, I don't. I mean, I feel a little bit, but I don't feel like my normal hand here. So, but in a dream, if I'm having sex or something like that, you feel that like normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh shit! So it is in the mind. It is in the
mind. And
the feelings.
Mr. Ark has told me that even though he's missing his right arm, there are times where his arm hurts. His right arm hurts.
Oh, I'm sure he has the nerve endings, the phantom pain.
All this down here is gone, but he says that
his fingertips.
He says my right fingertips hurt. How is that possible? Is what he said.
They're gone. Yeah, they're gone. But I guess
phantom pains are very real
for sure.
And in one of my dreams, what it explained it as? It is still there, but in phantom form. Your mind hasn't really let that go yet.
Well, and then too, I don't think it can, because these connections are still there through the spinal cord, through the arm, through the end. So the nerve endings are there, just waiting to be tapped into.
And it says, where it's like, all right, well, it's not there, so it's got to go somewhere else.
That's trippy.
It is. It's weird how the brain works. It's weird how
like this. I don't feel this at all, Niles.
Don't?
I don't feel this at all, dude. At all. You can scrape that all day. So ain't that weird? So again, with the brain, the way it works, with the nerve endings and all our shit, the spinal cord. Since I got shot in my spinal cord, that those nerve endings are not connected.
Well, I don't think you feel it now when you do it, but I guarantee if I grab that hand, you will know I did it.
No, you could pinch me right here until I bleed. When I do my tattoos, like here it hurts because I feel normal, and here's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, really pinch it. Well, by the F. No, I mean I can close my eyes or whatever. You could pinch my arm by the F, by the guy's chin, by this.
Are your eyes closed?
Yeah, they're closed. I know that you touched me there, but like do more like here. Like here, I can like pinch me hard there. Somewhere. Now there I feel normal. Oh. It's gonna be here, like where this tattoo is. Anywhere in there. I feel you up here. You're there, but it doesn't hurt. Pinch it hard now. Now grab that hard.
I did.
Pinch hard.
I'm not gonna make you bleed now.
So anyway, so that's getting back to the mind and all that others. It is amazing. Our body is.
That's why I had to write about that. That's why I had to make my games just like that, because that was just so fascinating to me. I'm just thinking I'm living whole lifetimes and not as myself either. That's the thing.
That's cool that you could do that though, because a lot of people are just one dimensional. I go to work, I go to sleep, I wake up, I'm done.
I also think that not enough people are really just thinking about that. You know why? Because
Too
they say
busy.
they're too busy. They go, oh well, in this reality, I'm here. Well, I do think that God shows us what things could have been for us. I do think He shows us past lives because there are times where I've woken up as a slave. Yes,
Woken up.
yes, as a slave.
So you dreamt it? You dreamt, or what do you mean? You woke up as a slave? Help me out.
There's a
That's a
reason I
little
said it
funny,
like
no?
that. I
I
really
know,
feel like
and
I'm always the same person every single time I wake up, like I'm during the slavery days. I am always the
okay.
same person. Sometimes as a child, sometimes as an adult, sometimes as an elder, sometimes as a teenager. But it's always like that same life, you know,
And
that
you
same
feel that,
person.
and you feel that stage.
I
That
feel that
I'm a teenager. I'm an elderly.
I'm a teenager. There are times where I'm an elder, and apparently at some point, the slave master really fucked up that guy's leg at
Yeah.
some point. But it's always the same right leg, and it's always the same that kneecap isn't there anymore.
So you feel in your past life you've had that.
That must have happened. That must have happened to one of my ancestors. That must have happened.
So you think that
That's
maybe
too consistent to me.
I could see it happening to an ancestor and getting burned into a DNA type of thing, like being scared of spiders and shit like that. I think that's passed on from
and I
parents and all that stuff.
and I do think that's why I react so viscerally to racism as well. I think that's probably why I do.
It could be.
I there's times where I've woken up as a woman back in Africa.
It's tripping me out now.
That's what I said, and I'm just thinking I'm straight though.
What you mean? You woke up as a woman? You were you sleep and you woke up feeling like Miss Annie Mae.
Yes, and apparently she was she was really good at cooking. The village loved her food.
What the hell?
Yeah, but that's just like it's too consistent to not be something, That there's too much there for me to think that this is just a coincidence, this is just a dream.
I hear what you're saying. I know what you mean. I see what you're like. Some of those feelings are too deep, too real.
Yeah, they're too real, and they're also
And
again
you
they're too
shouldn't know
consistent.
anything about cooking and something. You said of cooking something, right? She was a famous cook or whatever.
Right, and then apparently at some point, she eventually goes blind.
What the hell?
Yeah, she eventually goes blind in her older age. There are times where like whenever I've woken up as that woman, like in like later stages of her life, I'm blind.
But how do you? Oh my God! But how would you even say that would be like that's you? You know what I'm saying? You're waking up
Well, because
with memories.
I'm waking up in still first person view, so to speak. You know,
Right.
I'm waking up like when I look down, I'm thinking that's not what I normally look like.
Get out of here, man.
I walk in the mirror, I see my face, and I'm like, this isn't what I look like in real life. There are times where I do like whenever that happens, I just wake up, make sure I see this same face staring back at me. So much so that I get the distinct impression that this real life here, we're probably just someone else's dream. You know why? Because too often when I go to sleep and I wake up as someone else, they go to sleep, wake up as someone else, they go to sleep, so on and so forth.
It's like
That's just
slipping.
Yeah, I think this is just my turn right now. I really do think this is just my turn.
I hear what you're saying because I do believe in these other dimensions and these other other realms that we live in, but
This realm that
hold of it,
this realm that we live in, what we call real life, that's just what this vessel is seeing.
True. True.
And believe it or not, that's actually what strengthened my faith in the Lord so much. You know why? I realized something. If reincarnation does exist, that's just God giving us another chance until we get it right.
I would think so. That's what I think when they say old souls and all this stuff. But I mean, there's no way to ever prove anything of it. So it's all just talk. It's all just hearsay.
There is.
It's all just talk.
Maybe there is, and we're just not looking hard enough. And let's be honest. Would you really want to know everything about existence? Would you? Would you really want to know everything?
No, but I'd like to live longer. That way, I would like to live. I think we don't live long enough because when we get inquisitive about the stuff, our life is almost over, and then it's like done. Because when you don't think of that stuff in in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, so much,
Oh,
you do. You're a thinker. You're a
I'm
thinker.
not
Not
gonna lie.
everybody's a thinker.
I've been thinking about this since for as
Yeah.
long as I could remember. You know, I do believe that one of my journals that I've wrote by hand
Yeah.
predates my younger sister.
What the hell?
Yeah, everything that
This
I'm
one of
talking about.
100,000 words ones? No.
Well, probably I have to find all of them, but I remember filling whole journals up with these same thoughts, and I'm just thinking. My parents told me that that I would grow out of that. Here we still are. I'm still thinking about
still
that.
Gone. Journals, like the notebooks,
Yeah, just like notebooks,
it's full of writing.
just full of writings,
writing.
full of drawings, full of things that I'm just thinking, okay, this is way too consistent, and I've seen this way too often for this to not be something, you know?
No, I mean I don't know. I was trying to get the come to grips with. They say there's several. There's oh my God. There's an unlimited of Niles. There's Niles the scientist. There's Niles the football player. There's Niles the this, Niles the that, and I try to. How does that happen, right? And I even had the conversation with Kimberly. Is that I try to explain it like, okay, people see you differently. I see you as Niles the thinker. She might see you as Niles the football player. The other guy might see you as Niles the driver, Niles the worker. So those are all four. They're different Niles in the same universe, in the same Niles. It's just that I saw something different. She saw something different. He saw something. She saw something.
Well,
The same person,
same exact
four
person.
different explanations of that person.
And the first part of my name is me. You know what that means, right?
No.
To be, I am, you are.
Get out of here.
Yes, that's the first part of my name. If you take the les away from not,
me,
yeah, it just means to be.
Oh shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And how did your mom tell you that? Did you find that out, or what?
I found that out.
Nai in any language, or in certain, or just
in a lot of African languages. That's
Oh.
just what that means. Me
Okay.
just means to be, I am. And yes, I certainly am. Now, what am I?
everything.
Okay.
You never know. I am.
And what really just started really freeing me, what really helped me get past a lot of things is that I can choose what to be. Yes,
We can all choose.
there's Niles who's autistic, and there's also Niles who is neurotypical, although I don't want to be the Niles who's not autistic. You know why? Every single time I'm a version of me who's not autistic, my life is just so much less rich.
So you could play that role. You could play the Niles, non-autistic Niles.
Yeah, I could, but why would I want to?
Right.
Why would I want to? Because all it does is just say, "Oh, well, he's just regular. He's just a regular smart guy."
Or it'll mess with you thinking that something's wrong with the regular Niles. That you got to be something else.
I, honest to God,
regular Niles.
I've had dreams where I've met a version of me that wasn't autistic.
Didn't like it. Did you like him?
Hated him.
Really?
You know why I hated him?
Why?
Now, people say that people with autism lack empathy. No, they don't. No, they don't. The
And
Niles,
what? And dude, that you saw the Niles, he was total a monster. He wasn't cool.
he wasn't. He was cool in the normal sense,
Right, but not
but he was
sometimes cool is bad. Being a cool dude, but just not a good human.
Yeah, thank you,
Right.
Thank you. Actually,
Right.
he was a cool dude. He had everything that I thought I wanted when I was growing up.
Right. All that swagger, all that whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
just not a cool dude.
I was just thinking, every single time I meet him, I'm just thinking, why did Steve Urkel want to be Stefan Urkel so much?
Stefan Urkel, was that his
alter ego? Basically just Jaleel White being himself.
Okay.
Which, when I found that out, I'm just thinking, wow, you start appreciating these actors here. I do believe that there is there's a saying amongst the Vikings. I don't know exactly how it goes, but the gist that I got from the translation was that if you want to see how a man fights, banter with him, joke around with him. If he can't take a joke, he most certainly cannot take a punch.
Oh,
If he can jank
okay.
and jive, though, that is the most dangerous man you'll ever meet.
They do say that about guys, though. The guys that can take jokes and do that, they're well rounded. They're more formed.
That's why
I always wonder if can I take a joke. I don't know. I always wonder if I could take someone joke with me. I don't know that I can. I don't know.
it takes a lot of
I'd
strength
be
to
offended.
laugh.
I'd be offended.
Why?
I mean, if someone came at me like with a joke, I don't like when guys joke with other guys and hey, pussy ass and all this other stuff.
They're just words.
I know, but it's a respect thing. I think it's just weird because if you allow that, then it's gonna happen somewhere else where he's gonna say, "Hey, pussy ass," and you're like, "Oh, not here. We're in church. We're wherever it is, or I don't know."
One of my universal exceptions is balance, discretion, reason, and logic. Talks about
balance,
that.
discretion,
Reason, and logic.
Uh-huh.
Okay, discretion would tell you don't call someone a pussy ass in church. Now, you would think that's something that most people would understand, right?
Okay.
That universal exception talks about two universal exceptions to my maxims talks about common sense. Okay, now if it would be in poor taste to do that there, don't do that there. You probably wouldn't call your boss a pussy.
Right.
You probably wouldn't cuss out your boss in front of people. You probably, if you like to tell dirty jokes, you probably wouldn't do that around children.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's just a lack of common sense there. Which also, believe it or not, there's a lot of jokes that are really dark, that are like really controversial.
Right.
I noticed something. The jokes that really hit, they have to tell some of the truth. That's why I love making a comedy. My series ultimately is going to come down to a comedy series because you know why? That I think that's the highest form of entertainment because it tells the truth.
Right.
And it teaches the best lesson of all.
It's a soft blow too. It's a soft blow. It's not so hard. If it's
I wouldn't say it softens it, but you know what? The reason why I say that it's going to teach you the greatest lesson of all, shit's going to happen. There's going to be some shit you don't like. Now,
right.
You can laugh at it or you can cry about
That's
it.
how you react to it.
And from what I've seen, people who cry about it, they tend to deal with that same problem over and over and over and over and over till that don't even sound like a word no more. But once you start learning to laugh at it, it stops hurting. Yeah. People stop being able to use it against you,
if you could take it out of the realm of being a problem, of being a pain, and then where it's a positive, nothing wrong with it.
And you know what? It's okay for some things to suck. Guess what?
For sure.
Just like, I'm sure, I'm not trying to say that, this is the worst thing that happened to you, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure you would love being able to, walk. I'm pretty sure you would love to have that back.
I would, but I worry about that if I would be the same guy, if I would be that asshole again, if I would be that young asshole, that unappreciative person. You know what I mean? This keeps me appreciating things. And I wonder if I got it all back and I was ready to do dancing and do the Walter Payton runs and do all would I be the same guy again? Would I be humble? I would hope so after all the shit I've been through to not go back to being an arrogant asshole or something like that. But I don't know. It scared that scared me when I first got injured and all that other, to have it all back again. I kind of accept this. This keeps me where I need to be. I just knowing me in traffic and all this other stuff. If I was walking and someone did me wrong, I would probably just react in a way that is not very good. Because I'm able to.
Once again, balance.
And I'm not able to right now, so I can't.
Once again, you know what? Say that last part again. Actually,
I'm not able to, but I can't.
I'm not able to, so I can't. I'm not able to.
Right. I'm not able to throw this chair across the room at somebody that bothers my family.
You know who the there's something that I've truly come to believe. There's a difference between a pacifist and a harmless man.
Okay.
And you know what? Only people who have the capability to inflict damage can truly call themselves a pacifist, because just because you're not able to, you want to know what that implies? That implies that, if you had that back, even now you would
It's on the
probably
board. It's on the board.
It's definitely on the
possible.
board.
Yeah, it's
so
possible.
you know what that. So that's why I say I don't know if you've entirely learned everything you needed to learn from that experience. Because you know why?
Either.
Because again, you said that if I had the capability of doing that, that's still on the board. If you truly learned, that wouldn't be on the board anymore.
I don't know that I don't know that I learned.
That's why I'm saying I don't think.
But that's what scares me though.
That happening to you. I don't really think that changed as much as people say it does. Now, you know what? You understand you don't want to do that anymore, and guess what?
You're not able to.
That's what. Say again.
You're not able to.
Well, no, you learned the right lesson with when it came to not ever wanting to do that. That was your wake up call, but your wake up call could have been something else, and you came to that same conclusion. Yeah. Maybe your wake up call was maybe the lady that you were running drugs for. She leaves you. She took it all away. You can still walk, but you learn that you don't want to deal with that ever again, right?
Right. You would hope so.
Maybe you would have learned that.
Hope so. Maybe I would have just chased it all again until. I do believe it has to be. I do believe it happened for a reason. I do believe, and no matter what, I would have been. If I was a fireman, I would have been in a wheelchair. I know. I just feel it because I would have been in that fire, running in a building. There said, "Don't go in there." I'm in there. Don't go.
I know what I'm doing. Famous last words. I know what I'm doing.
Falling through the floor, becoming paralyzed. You know what I mean?
It says, it's like, don't worry. I know I'm a professional. I remember one time someone when I worked for the sewer company says, "I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing." Yeah. Tweaked his back. I said, "I thought you said you knew what you were doing." He says, "I do. Stay in school, son." Is what he told me. I think suffering necessarily changes people. I don't think
it might maybe subdue the person,
but
right?
Just
keep you like under wraps.
Have you seen Kung Fu Panda before?
I haven't.
The first movie.
I haven't.
First movie.
I need to.
There's a lot of people who are more like Tai Lung than they want to want to admit. Because you know what? A lot of people, at the end, he suffered a major setback. Something that should have taught him, right?
Uh-huh.
His response was to keep going until Poe had to go skadoosh and send him to the spirit realm.
Have you seen, babe? Kung Fu Panda? Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Instead, when he saw the dragon skull, saw that it was blank, instead of taking the lesson that Poe took from it, he just said, well, it's nothing. A lot of people don't see that. Yes, your potential to change, to become what you are now, that always existed within you.
Sure.
It didn't take a bullet to the spinal cord to bring that out of you. That's what I really believe. I believe people who are where they end up,
mm-hmm.
They always had it within them all along.
I believe it.
I believe it. You have it or you don't. And unfortunately, that's why I say, don't do things to. One of my maxims is don't answer out of defiance. The short explanation for that is don't do things expecting to teach others something, okay? Don't do this and expect them to take the lesson, or take the lesson you're trying to teach.
Right.
Because you know what if they learn the wrong lesson? What if, and this is just something about parenting here, which I see this in my line of work all the time, and I say, I've once told a lady, he is not going to learn what you're trying to teach him like this. Because, you might put him out, and you know what? He may struggle for a bit, but then when he lands right, I've seen this before where they said, well, now that I know I don't need my parents, fuck them.
Right.
I'm going to never speak to them again.
You just taught them that you don't need them.
Yeah, you just taught them that you don't need them. And now you get a lot worse behavior because you know why?
Because they're resentful too now. Because they're resentful. You put them out, right? Or no?
I'll say it's a little bit deeper than that. Have you seen the drug PSAs from the 80s and 70s?
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
With the egg you talking about?
The drug PSAs.
Right. This is your brain on drugs? No,
yes.
Not that one.
Or the teen pregnancy. Oh my God, teen pregnancy. Sex ed. Whew. Want to know why that didn't work above and beyond it all?
Why is that?
The reason why, okay, let's say, use a drug addict example here. Take a hit here. Count how many times I do this, okay?
Okay.
And I say, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Uh-huh.
I'm all right. 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 This isn't hitting like it used to. Let me just increase this a little bit here. I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Uh-huh, but
when when what you warned about, they say like, oh, if you do this, all this bad stuff's gonna happen.
And
Guess what?
Happen.
When it doesn't happen, they say, well, what else are you lying about?
Oh, they push the limit, push it more.
They're gonna push it more, and they say the worst thing that's gonna happen is how my parents are gonna react.
Yeah.
Well, this really isn't so bad. I also met a lot of good people. Good people. You know what? Let me not throw the air quotes in there because just because they might have made a poor decision doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person.
Right.
They just made a poor decision, and unfortunately, that poor decision has to beget a whole lot of other poor decisions because they're now in a situation because of that poor decision. Right. If I'm making any sense whatsoever.
No, you are. There was a documentary I had just watched, and I was talking to Kimberly about the Gilbert Arenas. He was a basketball player, and he was a high enough basketball player where he could joke around and not get fired from the team. I don't know. Do you know Gilbert Arenas? Have you heard of him? Washington Wizards, back in the day a little bit. Gilbert Arenas played ball, right, for the Wizards, and then they had a rookie dude come in that he was traded from the Lakers. Well, Gilbert Arenas was joking with this rookie guy about guns, or they were playing on a plane, and they were saying, "Oh, you bitch ass, this and that, bitch ass, da, ba, ba." And the dude was like, "Hey, I don't know you like that, dude. Don't play with me like that." He was a rookie, he just came into the group. So then they were joking on the plane, and then he was talking about, "Man, I don't know you like that. I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna beat your ass." This and that. So then Gilbert Arenas put 2 guns on this guy's in his locker in the basketball team. Mm-hmm. Put 2 guns on there. He said, "If you're real about shooting me, shoot me now." But he was joking. But he was a joker. But the new kid wasn't a joker, and that whole thing just ruined that whole man's career. He ended up he's in jail because he ended up murdering somebody. The rookie kid just flipped them all around from a joke, from all this stuff that you don't even know. You're doing your thing, thinking it's gonna go this way, and it just goes a whole nother way. You just affected someone's life for, ruined their life.
And in case of Gilbert, his life is done.
Both. I mean, Gilbert went on because he had the name, to continue playing basketball, but the other guy couldn't even get a job. So I was like, damn, we don't even realize that. And we're affecting other people sometimes with our little bullshit jokes and our stuff.
Which, that really just... People who react like that to jokes, you hate to say it like this, but come on, man. He was a joker. Before you pulled that trigger, did his jokes stop you from being on the team?
Yeah, no, it was...
Did it really?
It was an attitude that the young guy had from gang life and all that other shit that he brought into that joking thing, right? But it was just, somebody's attitude like that is just it could wreck you,
Only if you let it, though. Only if you let it.
And he did.
And he did. And I just, you hate to say it like that, but yeah, you had a choice there. Nah, he had a choice there.
Yeah.
Someone's talking a little bit of shit about you. This, like, you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons, right? You hear the horror stories about how, what happens in gameplay bleeds over into real life.
Right.
At the table that I run on startplaying.com, there's a reason first of all, there's a reason I charge $50 to play a game. I make people like once you start paying that amount of money, you really, really, really start to think about, do I want to get put off of this table and lose $50 because someone makes fun of me in a tabletop game? Is it really that serious?
So it's like a poker game, and everybody's in on this $50.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons game.
It's Dungeons and Dragons, so it's a card. It's a card base, right? Card.
It's a role playing game with the character sheet. The character sheets that that people meme around saying like I'm wizards. I'm going to go slay the dragon.
Okay.
They're talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
I know Dungeons and Dragons because that came out in the '80s when I was in high school, and then but it was a card game. I thought it was a card game.
That's Magic.
And I had numbers on the bottom. I thought each one had a number or something like that.
That's like Magic the Gathering.
Okay, so that's Magic then.
Same IP, yes, but the card game is Magic. The tabletop game with the character sheets is Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. I mean, on that one, I didn't even know these things. Now Dungeons and
Dragons. Every nerd probably heard that and said, "Oh, like, is this guy serious?"
I didn't know. Sorry.
It's like, what? Did he drop out of high school? Oh.
No, in high school. But we weren't playing Dungeons. The Dungeons and Dragons in high school was a little bit.
Not the crowd you ran with, probably.
Yeah, no. We would, but in high school too. I had went to a new high school. In my defense, I went to a new high school and I didn't know anybody. I was in Chicago in grade school, and then when I went to the suburbs with my father, new high school, nobody knew me. I didn't know anybody. Nobody liked me. I didn't like anybody. It was shitty. It was garbage.
I
So
get
that
the
was,
distinct impression you weren't there long enough to really get to know anybody.
I was there for like 2 years in that school, and then went back to my mom's house. But it was just, and I didn't have the right attitude.
That
You know.
that ain't no time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That
Yeah,
ain't no time to really
yeah.
develop anything.
And like I said too, I had the wrong attitude as a young kid coming into a new place. I thought, they didn't like me. I don't like them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Just bullshit. Just, against me, against it. It's just the wrong attitude.
It really is.
But
And
how do you do that to a young kid? I'm a young guy, or how do you go in like, oh, like happy go lucky, Happy Gilmore, loving everybody, hugging everybody? I
I
don't think
mean,
I had it in me.
I was willing to do that, and to be fair, you do get hurt a lot doing stuff like that.
I would say, did it work?
You know what? For the people that it mattered the most, it did. If I quickly learned that the ones who matter are the ones who are going to accept you as you are. The ones who don't, I actually thank people when they show me that they don't matter.
That's what I was gonna say. So it's kind of the quicker they show you that they're an ass, you just dismiss them anyway.
Exactly. So,
get rid of that one.
Don't
need to hang around that one.
When I see people how they behave, and I said, okay, yeah. It says, well, why aren't you rattled by this person? I'm like, that shows more.
Their problem.
That's their problem. Like, they're really gonna let some class clown get to them that much. Right. I make fun of you in a book, or I make fun of you like with a joke, or I make fun of you at a tabletop game here, and you're gonna let it affect you that much. Yeah. You're gonna lose your shit. To be honest with you, you told the joke for me. Right. It's like, well, obviously I said something true. If I didn't say anything true,
flustered and throwing cards in the air and all pissed off and like, whoa, must have hit a nerve, huh?
It's like, if it's not true, why are you reacting?
True.
Like, the only exception to that is when someone says something, racial, because you know why? Not even just because of the racial joke. It's because I'm thinking all the other things that you probably wouldn't know about me. I talk a lot. I have a bit of an arrogant streak. But you talk about the color of my skin. I think what makes me mad about that more is it's lazy,
ignorant. Yeah, look for something. Do something. Do your homework on me,
Like you couldn't try a little harder than that?
Right. You can make fun of me a whole lot of other ways, and you're looking at my skin.
And I think that's what put a lot of our co-stars off of the 90 Day Fiance show, like when we were on there.
Mm-hmm.
Is because they're thinking all the other things that you could tell about me that's true. If you want to make me look bad, you don't have to lie. I think that's what irks a lot of people who go on that show.
Well, I didn't see him lying out. Unless you said you tell me something that I didn't see him lying on your story much. I thought it was just your thing was kind of straightforward. I thought.
Well, again,
I don't know.
I am who I am. That's all what I am. Now,
yeah, but it's still TV. They could edit it. They could edit you any way they want to. They could have made you look like a fool or made you look like a scientist. You know what I mean?
I really feel like they went for both there.
They go for both.
Yeah, they actually did go for both, which, in that way, they told the full truth that, yes, on the one hand...
Sometimes he is a fool, sometimes he's a scientist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes I'm really smart. You can hear me talking about, finances. I want to make sure that everything lands like it's supposed to.
Uh-huh.
Other times you see me do this, squishy, 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 squishy. And yeah, that's still me.
That's true.
That is still me,
That's why I said it was a blend. Your thing was a blend of both, but I didn't see it to be fake. Sorry if they kill me for that saying that, but yours was more real than anybody else's. I think everybody else was edged on a little bit. I was, definitely Vale was. What's his name? The crazy Lauren. I don't think you needed to edge him on because he just liked to say silly shit. Remember, he just liked saying stupid things. Mm-hmm. You're talking about light bulb. Oh yeah, I was hit with a light bulb when I was a kid. Remember, he just said on the stupidest things. Like, dude, you just don't stop.
And the thing about Lauren here that irked me, we saw this with Big Ed already.
Oh.
Yeah, we've already seen his shtick from Big Ed.
I didn't really watch too much. I didn't watch too much of the all the other stuff before and all.
I didn't really watch
But-
Big Ed either, and I
but
just
you
saw the
knew.
clips and I just saw the memes and I saw how
Oh.
he also how he behaved. Talked to some of the crew about how
But he had like 8 seasons.
yeah he did, and guess what? I would go so far as to say that if Big Ed appeared now, he wouldn't have been as novel as he was.
He wouldn't get 8 seasons.
He wouldn't have gotten 8 seasons. And I was just
I don't
thinking,
know.
Lauren, you're making yourself look worse for basically nothing.
Yeah,
Your shtick has been done at least twice now by Big Ed.
Yeah, I don't know. He was struggling. He was struggling. But
He didn't have to. That's the thing. He didn't have to go through
he
that.
didn't, but he put himself in it over and over and over and over. Wow. I don't want to keep you here all night. I do want 3 movies from you for me to watch.
3 movies?
3 movies. 3 of your favorite movies. Can you give me 3? Your favorite movies.
I thought you said you didn't want to keep me here all night.
Ah, shit. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think everyone should see the Kung Fu Panda series at least once.
Kung Fu Panda series.
Yeah, all 4 movies.
Okay. So the Panda series.
The Panda series, the Sonic movie, all 3 of the Sonic movies, and third, the Lion King. Out
Because there's
both.
a couple of them.
Like both the animated and the live action, and also too read the comics that go with them. Oh my goodness gracious! Well, I'm coming in at midnight.
Damn. So you'll be getting home at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll end this.
Yeah, we gotta end this. We should do this again though.
We could. I mean, if
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
yeah.
It is, and you know what? We went off to Timbuktu, but you know what?
We were We'll all
Oh,
over
see
the
that.
place. We
And,
were all over
also, if you guys like what you saw, check out my TikTok, my Instagram, and
There you
both my
go.
YouTube channels.
There you go. Sweet.